Hello all, it's been a while since the last 4 Dummies video, but I think now is a better time than ever to cover this game. In case you've been living in the Judgment Day server, last quarter just released its Empty Promises update, featuring a lot of new stuff like a new event, new characters, and new reworks. Speaking of the reworks, we are going to be covering one in this video, that rework being Hardtale Sans. Hardtale Sans has a max stamina 225, he has 3 upgrades, one of them currently isn't out so I will only be covering the pacifist version. Hardtale has an ignition bar, which fills up from damage dealt to cards. Hardtale does not have any skins. As always, I'm gonna assume you've already seen Classic's moveset. If you haven't, go watch San S2 or something. Hardtale has an ignition bar, which fills up the move damage he deals. However, Hardtale's fire moves give you significantly more ignition than the other moves. These moves include Fire Grapple and Uppercut. Hardtale has an amazing amount of stamina. Couple that with his moves that can create space and flinchers away. If you play Hardtale correctly, you will pretty much never lose because of stamina. Always be checking your ignition bar to make sure it's full, and when you are at full, make sure to always use it. There's no stamina, health or really any downside to using it. Also, you may be tempted to use Time Stop. I'm just gonna say this now, Time Stop is trash. Since there's a short window where you can escape, it's not worth all your ignition bar. You're better off comboing your other moves and causing chaos. Your best matchups are against characters with limited mobility, like Hardtale Kara. You do bad against characters with tons of movement and healing, since most of the time you can't redo the damage you deal. Weapons like Snow Ring and Golden Pan are really strong against you, being able to keep their team alive and stay together to stop you from comboing. In ignition mode, your main goal is to create chaos. Hitting your moves in this mode is key to success. If you hit Uppercut, it creates tons of chaos around the map in the form of projectiles. Giant Slam is also great for creating chaos too, as it spawns tons of homing bones that track enemies. Your blasters are also an amazing source of damage and spam in this mode. Since they have such a low cooldown and such high damage, they can help to create more chaos to overwhelm the trees and give you plenty of space. You should not use your blaster ride in this phase too much, as it uses up all of your ignition bar. Although it is a very effective rig in 2 Lino 1v1, however it's not very useful outside of that. Your counter isn't up for very long. If you're against a Snow Ring, or a character with a very clear swing telegraph, like Snow Ring, Killer Knife or Burnt Pan, you can easily counter it. However, against weapons like Real Knife, Stick, and 404 Stick, it's best not to waste your counter unless they are being really obvious with their swings. Also it bears mentioning, that you cannot counter projectiles like Trident, Spear or After Frisk's knife attack. You also cannot counter dashes like Real Knife Stash, Execution, or Spear Sprint. Basically you can only counter AM1s, with Hardtale. Using his moves individually don't do that much damage, so you'll have to combo to get the most amount of value out of Hardtale. Combos like Uppercut plus Blasters, Counter plus Blasters, Counter plus Fire Grapple. You get the idea. Now, I'm going to go through some rapid fire tips to make you a better Hardtale player. Number 1. Use Ignition as soon as possible. Ignition is a very powerful tool, making you really powerful for a short period of time, and giving you some of the best moves in the game for causing chaos. Always check your ignition meter to see if you are able to ignite or not. Number 2. Create chaos when possible. In ignition mode, you get amazing control of the arena with your potent moves, like Uppercut and Giant Crush, allowing you to get tons of free damage and without much punishment. Number 3. Always use fire moves. Using your fire moves like Uppercut and Fire Grapple will greatly increase your ignition meter, meaning you will be able to get way more kills easier and faster. Number 4. Always use Weapon Ghost. Weapon Ghost is a very powerful tool to stop your enemies from dealing too much damage and preventing enemies from using big moves like Execute or Save Dash. Using Weapon Ghost can save you once or twice and also makes it so you only take 0.05 damage each hit. Number 5. Use Blaster Ride for regen. Blaster Ride is a great regeneration tool to give yourself a lot of stamina, since against players with half a brain, your bite and blast moves won't ever really hit, although if you're on one with your blaster, use Explode to actually deal good damage. You can also use Bite plus Explode in case a player is one-shot as a good finisher. Number 6. Combos are essential. Combos are amazing to make sure Hardtale has a good enough damage output to kill players quickly and efficiently. Use combos I listed earlier for a good idea on how Hardtale's moves work and function. Number 7. Don't use counter aggressively. I've seen a lot of Hardtale users go up to a Kara and use counter in hopes they can start a combo. Most of the time, this doesn't work. If you're playing with decent players, using counter aggressively will never work. Only use it if you know you're about to get hit. These tips should help you become an amazing Hardtale player, and destroy new weapon users like Spear and Killer Knife. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment on this video on a character you want me to cover next.